Basically, Dave and I go back since I was about 11, 12 years old when I lived up in Yorkshire.
And I wanted somebody early morning just to run around and help me deliver a bit of milk. And Sam appeared, he came onto the scene.
And as a school kid, I wanted to earn a few quid, so I was at a time where my parents had split up, and I was a bit of a lively lad, I suppose, and then went to them and worked and helped them on the milk round, and they had a small farm up in Malham.
He was interested in what I did other than delivering milk. He asked me if he could come back to the farm with me. I brought him back. I say the rest is history, but it was nice the way it happened.
They're like my mum and dad now, really. That's how I see them.
The coronavirus is the biggest threat this country has faced for decades.
Just in the last few minutes, the death toll has been announced, and it's an increase from yesterday by 181.
Tonight, the ExCeL Conference Centre in London is rapidly turning into the biggest hospital in the UK.
Cases and deaths in the UK are rising fast.
Back in early April, I'd noticed for a few days that he wasn't sounding great. He was coughing, and obviously it was a time when COVID had started, and he was just starting lambing the sheep, indoor sheep.
Myself, with being a diabetic, my immune system was low. It just hit me like a stone. I had it back in my mind all the time that I couldn't leave Carol to do everything. So I had to keep going, but slowly but surely as the week went on, I was going downhill fast.
There was one day he was sounding really bad, and I said, you need to get some help, like, oh, I'm lambing, I've too much to do, and I'll get over it. And that was on the Saturday, and on the Sunday I got a phone call from Carol to say that the ambulance had been called, and David was taken into intensive care, and we didn't know whether he was even going to make the night.
And when the ambulance came, I struggled to walk into the ambulance, and I was helpless. And I just had to lie there motionless, worrying about what was happening at home. The worst part of it was I knew that nobody could come and help Carol, and that worried me more than my own health, you see.
All I wanted to do was to come up and help him, but I couldn't, and I didn't know what to do. Carol was struggling, and I could hear her struggling. She couldn't find any help.
And that's when Sam come into the scene. Even though he's down at Hereford, he just wanted to do something, and he was so worried. So he had this idea of doing what he did.
We were lambing, and I thought the only thing I can do is to try and organise some transport and get the sheep down to me, because otherwise the sheep would have just lambed, and what could have happened. So
Sam arranged the transport and just took them all to Herefordshire, which was amazing. And so I feel so humbled at what he did. And when you get somebody like Sam that does that and rings you up in hospital and tells you he loves you, I felt so much at ease, and that turned me around. It turned me around, it really did.
Yeah, I sort of thought no about it, really. I mean, we got them on I think it was a Friday we got them, and on the Saturday they started lambing. And so we lambed the sheep, and they did real well. I brought the first load back of lambs up to him today, and I think he was quite pleased with them when they come off the trailer line. It's what farmers do, innit? They just pull together. That's British farmers, isn't it? They just I'm no better or worse than anybody else, because it's what most farmers would do. They'd help out, always have done, and that's what makes British farming so good. It's just we all stick together, don't we?
That's just the sort of person he is, and what he's grown up to be like that. And if he maintains that attitude through his working life and passes that on to his sons, you know, you couldn't ask for anything more, could you? You couldn't ask for anything more. He's just a great guy.